Welcome back. Are you thinking about investing in real estate or buying an income property and you aren't sure where to start? Right here in Kamloops, there's a great organization called the Real Estate Network Training Society, and Connor Shelton, who is also a local realtor, is joining us to talk about it, the webmaster of this corporation or this organization.
Yes.
Great to have you on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Tell me a little bit about the acronym is RENTS. What is this organization about?
So basically, the group actually started about 7 years ago. It started as a free group, and now we've moved to the not-for-profits platform because we wanted to give people more value and bring in better speakers. And then the other component of that is we also wanted to raise money for kids that were in high school or starting university that were interested in real estate or a real estate related field, or just investing in general. So all the money we raise from the seminars now, we give back through bursaries to TRU students.
How can people apply for those?
So we have an application online at rents.website. And then we also, if you want to come to any of the boot camps, you can come there, and we have a little bit of an application process. We'd like to kind of just see your goals for real estate investing and how you plan to achieve them, because it's great to have goals, but without a plan, they're just goals.
Lofty goals.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's talk a little bit more about this, the boot camps. We have a couple of pictures here. I attended this one. I'm there in the blue with the hat on, having a bad hair day. You guys bring in these sort of real estate moguls, these people who sort of started from the very grassroots and built their way up by investing. What do they talk about exactly?
So we had a couple speakers there. We actually had 3 keynote speakers, and they're all super, super knowledgeable guys. And there's so many different ways to get to real estate success. So there's lots of guys there that started with the classic flip, so buying a property for cheap that's in need of repair and renovating it and then selling it for hopefully a profit. Obviously, that's the goal. And then there's other guys that try and get other investors and buying apartment buildings and then managing them. There's so many different ways, and it's really, it'll open your eyes, because lots of people think you buy a property, you rent it out, and that's the only way to make money. And there really is so many other ways to get successful in real estate. So we had Thomas Byer last time, who's a investor. He's got a project out in Oliver. We had Russell Westcott, who's out of Langley, and he has some projects in Edmonton where they do new built, ready to buy homes that are purpose built for rentals. So they already have suites in them, hot water on demand. It's got all the bells and whistles. So you just got to put the tenants in and you manage it. And then we had Rich Danby, who he talks about the buy and flip model, or the buy, flip, hold model. So buying a property, renovating it, and then holding it, because it's ultimately when you're putting that money in and renovating it, it's going to probably cost you less than buying that property already renovated. So you get a little bit more rent on your property.
Rich Danby's story was interesting. I was there to listen to him, and I found it interesting because he was in broadcasting. He worked for TSN, I believe, and he started getting into the real estate industry. And it was, a chancy, dicey thing, but he worked his way up, and eventually he was so successful with what he was doing that he left his job. And when he left his job, his news director boss at TSN gave him money and said, "Will you invest this for me?" Like, hello, success story. But not to say that these people who come to these boot camps haven't had their share of mistakes, and I think that's what makes them valuable. Because they share their stories with you and help field some of the questions that might help you as an investor avoid making the same mistake.
Exactly, yeah. And then there's also the great motivation there of talking with other people and seeing how everyone else has done it, and because ultimately you just got to jump in and do it.
Right. So what are some of the tips that people could expect if they were to come to this boot camp? They're going to obviously benefit from hearing about other people's experiences that have done well. But what other things? Is there an opportunity for people to ask questions or get together in a group with people of like-minded thinking?
So yeah, we're planning again to we'll have 3 keynote speakers, and then we'll also have a breakout session, which will basically have 3 sessions. And basically it's going to be getting into real estate, and then kind of your intermediate level. You maybe have a couple properties, maybe managing tenants, and then advanced real estate, where apartment buildings, bigger properties like that, commercial. So there's really everything for every kind of investor. It's an all-day event at TRU in the top floor of the old main building there. Yeah, it's going to be a great time. So that one's at the end of April. And then we also have just our regular meetings. We have one every month, last Thursday of every month. So the next meeting's, sorry, I think it's March 29th. this Thursday coming up, and yeah, it's that one we're going to have some tax tips and then just some general market info. So what's going on in Kamloops.
I think tomorrow's March 30th, so tomorrow.
March 30th, sorry, yes.
What else was I going to ask you? Something that I thought would be interesting for the viewers to hear about, but I can't remember exactly right now. Is there a membership fee to join up, or how does that work?
Right, yeah. So we have a membership fee for just the boot camp. There's also a fee for, and it can all be found on the website. And there's also, or you can get the fee for the boot camp and then a discounted yearly membership, or also if you can't attend every meeting, because we know maybe last Thursday of the month doesn't work for everybody, we have an online membership package as well, because we record all our meetings, and then there's a Facebook group where you can ask questions, you can look at the past video footage, and then if you have any problems or a property you're wanting to sell, it's a great group of investors, so you might be able to not trying to put myself out of business here, but you might be able to save yourself some money here.
And that's what I wanted to ask you quickly. As a realtor, Connor, how is the market right now? Is now a good time to be investing?
Yeah, market's definitely great right now. Principal supply and demand tells us when supply is low and demand is high, that's when prices rise. So we're seeing a lot of that now because there really isn't a ton on the market, and there's lots of buyers coming from Vancouver, or people just moving within Kamloops, first-time home buyers with the new government grant that got introduced. So lots of people wanting to get into real estate, and yeah.
And the vacancy rate in Kamloops specifically, I know, is so low that
crazy,
if you choose to go and buy an investment property, perhaps you don't have to have too many headaches about finding somebody to pay that mortgage for.
That's right. Yeah. The last stat I heard was 1.1%, which is ridiculously low. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So tomorrow night is the next meeting. If people want to come and attend, they can do that.
Yes.
Again, it's in the Old Main.
Yep. So the top floor of the Old Main building, which has been nicely redone. We got a big classroom in there. So we have billboards up there, so you can find it. And,
And if you want more information, of course, the website's sitting there on the screen, Real Estate Network TrainingSociety.com. Connor, pleasure to have you on the show today.
Thanks,
Just spoke choke there. Have a great afternoon.
Thanks, you too.
Right, we're back in 2 minutes. Stay with us.